everybody, this is Sketch God. Thank you for joining us on the Fandam Collectibles YouTube channel. This is the first episode of Comic Art Pantheon. We're gonna cover all things related to comic book art and what makes it special, what makes it collectible, what makes it something that should be on your radar. So before we get anywhere close to the nitty-gritty, I figured this video would be a nice starting place where we can answer some basic questions when it comes to original art. First of all, let's define that phrase, original art. When we're talking about original art, we're basically saying that we're going to pay attention to a one-of-one illustration. By one-of-one, I'm saying it's unique, it's not mass-produced. Comic art, well, anything pertaining to the comic book medium. So again, unique illustrations that were created expressly to capture comic book characters or with the intention of being formally published and displayed in a comic book or in promotion of the comic book industry. Think posters, prints, etc. Okay, so the next common question that I get whenever I start bringing up original art is questions regarding cost. People want to know how much will it take for them to actually get their hands on some original art. And the answer to that is as simple or as complex as you want it to be. The simple answer, it varies. You can get OA for as cheap as $20 or $30 at a local con. With that definition that I gave you all before, didn't say it had to be a pro creating that unique one-of-one illustration. Doesn't even have to be a well-known artist. I mean, you can definitely meet up with an amateur or up-and-coming professional and buy their work for a very reasonable price. On the flip side, there is OA that is more than any of us watching this video make a year. So when it comes to original art, there is quite the range, but you shouldn't focus on maybe those pieces that are beyond your means. Think about what you actually can pick up that's not going to break the bank, but that you'll also be proud to display. All right, so the next question I'm going to cover is OA a good investment? And to respond to that, I'm just going to say, well, it depends. As with all investments, you never know. I mean, there are things that seem like sure shots that don't quite pan out the way you thought they would. There are also pieces that you didn't think much of that can quickly become in demand and attract a lot of attention. You also have those folks who have issues with anything that's a non-traditional investment. By non-traditional, I mean outside of stocks, bonds, real estate, the more grounded, well-honored investments. So there are some people, whenever you talk about comic books, trading cards, anything along those lines, they kind of thumb their nose at it. You're listening to the Fandam Collectibles YouTube channel, so I doubt you're one of those people, but I did think it was important to acknowledge that everybody doesn't see this stuff as an investment. With all that said, you can never go wrong if you buy what you like. Buy what catches your eye, buy what you feel good about owning, and when it comes to investments, it's there. There is the potential for one of those pieces to be something that's sought after years later, but you can't have that as your guiding star, if you will. You go after what you like and you take good care of it and hope for the best. Okay, so another question that sometimes gets thrown my way, where exactly do I get comic original art or OA? And the answer to that is pretty simple in some respects. The same places you get comics. So your LCS, Comic Cons, your online sources. It may not have occurred to you to search for original art, but usually those same vendors, those same retailers are at least somewhat familiar with how you can get your hands on it and will point you in the right direction. The more advanced answer, you're gonna wanna become familiar with the artists themselves and their social media presence. Find out when they're gonna have drops on maybe their websites and make things available exclusively to the fans. You also wanna become familiar with comic artists' representation, their managers, and then network with other OA collectors. Find out where they're meeting up, where they hang out online, and push to get your hands on art from artists that you really admire. Another question I often get, how exactly do I take care of my OA? And my response, you just have to look for anything that's used to protect and preserve artwork. So there are art print sleeves that you can buy from your normal online retailers. Even Amazon can be a good source, eBay. But you can get sleeves as long as they match up to the specifications of the work that you purchase. They're a good first way to get something on there and to take care of your OA. You also want to look at art portfolios. These are the books that artists themselves use to transport their artwork. That's a nice place to store your OA. And then there are a number of framing and encasement options out there. To be perfectly honest, I just started to really become more knowledgeable on that front. And as I get deeper beneath the surface, whatever I learn, of course, I'm gonna share it with you all. But simply put, get the art first. There's more than enough ways to take care of it and store it. Okay, and that does it for this video. Hopefully you found it informative. This is just the beginning of the original art journey on this channel. And if you think of something that wasn't covered or you'd like to add anything to what was said, feel free to do so in the comments section. It's been fun. Until next time.